Hey, I want to start by saying today, the how is not your job. And let me tell you what I mean by that. So, the reason I bring this up is maybe some of you are wanting to accomplish something, but you've been making up not excuses, but you just have reasons that it wouldn't be possible. Maybe you want to go on to school for something new, but you're a busy parent and you've got lots of things going on. So you're like, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, whatever it may be. Your how is not your job. And I'm going to circle it back with some questions. And these questions really help me to know kind of where I want to focus on. And sometimes what can stop me up is, again, the worry of how do I get there? But if you have your vision and kind of your what, just know everything else is going to be placed in front of you. I mean, yes, you have to do the work. I'm not saying just sit and wait for things to happen. I don't mean that, but everything will be brought to you as it's needed. So I have even a fun example. My cousin, she's a nurse by trade, and just this year she started going back to acupuncture school. She just had that calling. She's always wanted to do it, and she's like, I'm doing it. So that's a perfect example of there's something that you've been wanting to do. Maybe it's write a book, start a YouTube channel, a podcast. You know what your heart's desire is, and I can tell you that if there's that burning desire, the how will come about. All of a sudden, it'll resonate with you. So here's my question. What is your gift? And maybe you don't know. I guess the other one I wanted to bring up is if you're not sure what your true passion and purpose is, that's okay too. Because I think I'm still trying to figure mine out. I just know I want to make a difference in the world. I want to bring, inspiration and elevation to others, like an elevated living experience. Just to be the best versions of ourselves. That's my kind of my what. How I'm going to do it, I'm still figuring it out, right? So here's my question. What is your gift? What is your calling? What is your talent? These are just some of the things to be thinking about, right? What makes your heart sing? And what is God or the universe calling you to do with your life? What stops you from pursuing them? Your dream. What stops you from pursuing your dream? What stops you from being what you are called to do or be? So a lot of times I already brought it up. The how is what stops us. So don't fear the how. Just know your what and proceed on. And the awesome, so actually let me share this too. I've had this book for a while, and this one I just love to pick up and read again because there's so much to it. And the reason I bought this book was for, I know I mentioned in another video about my fibromyalgia. I don't like to say my because I don't own a diagnosis or disease by any means, because I believe we can improve our health no matter what the situation. But this book really focuses on the frequencies of resonance and how you can even heal with the different vibrations. And one way I explain that a lot of time, and where I'm going with this too, for your resonance of your how, you're going to get these messages, whether it's from God, your higher power, it's somebody that's walking by and says something that makes you think, oh my gosh, yeah. Like a lot of times I'll just meet the right people along the way that help me to get to where I need to be going. Um, but where the resonance is as simple as you tune into a radio, right? If you want to listen to here in the Midwest, we have 101.3 or 104.7, and you tune into that channel. Otherwise, you don't get the channel, right? You have to align. So there's that the ability for them to speak. Or even I think about when you're trying to find your car, sometimes I forget, I'm like, where did I park? You'll hit the little beeper and it resonates with just your car. I mean, think about all the cars in the parking lot, and it's so crazy how it is in tune. Or a text message. You send a text message to somebody. Oops, I have it charging here. And how that little text message goes to the exact phone that you want. That's all on frequency. It's amazing, right? So where I go with this, it's all about conduit energy. So the big word for me today was conduit. So sometimes I'll pull from, have this cool Oracle guidebook too. So today my main focus or reading was on this in my resonance book, because I do a lot of work in here too. So like I said, every day I kind of pull something different, whatever speaks to me. And I thought this was pretty awesome, the message here. So let me read the question first too. Are you taking time to listen to the inner guidance, or are you suppressing your inner voice? So are you taking time to listen, or are you listening to your inner truth and kind of your knowing? It's so important that we do that. So conduit, I think of this. It's basically the channel, another word, keywords, channel, receptivity, connection to a higher frequency. So when you're in that higher frequency and able to connect with the how for the different aspects of what you need to hear, to see, to be, to drive you forward, to listen to that inner guidance of now is the time for me to go back to school. Now is the time for me to start this podcast. I know the meeting hasn't ended. It does this all the time. I got to figure that out. But it's exciting. I think this morning I just woke up so giddy and excited about what I'm doing, and I just feel so blessed. And that's the other aspect when it comes to your truth and your inner knowing. Let me read this too, because I wrote down the steps here, and this is amazing. So the first thing I talk about all the time is gratitude. Having that appreciation and gratitude. What did I write here? Practice that. Love, gratitude, and you'll attract more in your life when you're gracious and happy about what you have coming and going. Even if it's not exactly what you're wanting yet, just know if you appreciate the now and the present, it just continues to align. And I always think, feeling alive, feeling blessed, feeling brilliant, bubbly, feeling cherished, cherishing others, having clarity, being colorful, being calm. That's one thing I like to work on. When I'm getting ready, instead of rushing, if I can give myself just a little extra time, I did that today. I was up at 5 a.m., showered, and I just took my time getting ready, and it was fabulous. So try to do that once in a while to slow down, not feel so rushed. I had friends, a college girlfriend and her husband were here last night with one of their daughters, so cute. And I think they were kind of chuckling at me because I was like, yeah, I do this whole thing in the morning where they're like, yeah, our mornings are not like that, Ellen. Kind of like, we do not have the time. We're up and at 'em, out the door. And it kind of made me chuckle too, because I thought, I'm very blessed for my situation. I work from home. I know he's a teacher, so he's off to school. The kids are off to school. And then my friend from college, she works at home too, but it's just, there's a lot going on in the morning at their house. And so where I'm going with this is just cherishing whatever your situation is that you're in, because mine is a little quiet and maybe not as fulfilling, but I do have more of that easy pace, right? But they have all the love and a little more chaos probably. So learn to be still inside. That's a huge one too, just to kind of go within to be able to listen to your inner guidance and truth. Recognize that there are no mistakes. This one helps me the most because even in the dating world, I sometimes, my belief is, hey, if it's meant to be, it'll be. And you can't really screw it up with the right guy. So I just have not met the right guy. And it's not even screwing it up. It's like over the years, I've learned so much about relationships and I'm truly my authentic self. I just don't think every man can handle my vibrancy. They think they can. And then I don't know. I just know that there's not a day that goes by where I don't feel like, you know, what will show up for me, and recognizing there's no mistakes. Meaning if I think, oh, I don't know, I might have screwed that one up. Nope, not at all. So if it's a job for you, if it's whatever it may be, doesn't have to be in love. Just know you didn't screw it up. There's something better, or it just is going to build upon your next step. Okay, so the other one, so these are kind of my top 5 for being resilient, for being able to allow the energy flow, the frequency, the conduit of knowing your how and allowing great things to come in. So kind of helping with that manifestation and abundance. Okay, so what you need will always show up. So that again goes back to the how. Maybe you're like, I don't know how I'm going to get there. Do I have the money for this? Do I have the time, the vision? Yes. Okay. And then here's my last and favorite: surround yourself with talented, smart people. And I talk a lot about alliances. It's come up a lot this week. And I think it's so important for our growth. It's like if you're trying to stick in with the Joneses, or maybe you've got this neighborhood. I see it sometimes where I'm like, oh, thank God I'm not in a neighborhood like that, where all their garage doors are open and everybody's in there having beer and hanging out. And maybe there's something fun to that. I shouldn't say that. If that's their community and it's great and all the kids are having a blast, that's perfect, because that is their life. For me, I would have a hard time. Even like this weekend, I was doing a lot of just drinking and hanging out. And I'm like, it'd probably be so much better to be biking on a trail, going hiking, doing something that's more fulfilling than what I was doing. But again, We all have our things, right? So my point is surround yourself around the type of people that you want to be. And honestly, if you're on this call, you're probably not one that's just standing around doing nothing, right? You wouldn't have listened this long. So I know that you already are a very talented, smart, harmonious. That's what I meant to say. Woo! All right. Well, you guys know me and my funny words. All right. Well, here, let me end it on this. It's truth. It's all about truth. So I'm going to read that. I live my truth. And I'll send you off with the quote, an affirmation, and I will see you again soon. So here we go. Your truth. Find your truth. Be honest with yourself and speak with your heart. Walk your talk and follow your inner guidance in all activities. You are the truth. Listen for what is sincere and honest in others as well. So your soul wants you to know. Often the hardest thing about living your truth is knowing what that is, right? Sometimes it's those questions I gave you earlier. What is it? There's a place inside of you that always knows what's true for you, and what isn't. Absolutely. You know what's good, what's not. Sometimes it takes sincere silence and deep stillness to find that voice. But once you do discover it, let go of anything in your life that isn't authentic. Release relationships that don't empower you. So we just talked about that. Really don't feel like you have to keep up with the Joneses. If you're like, I don't want to be standing here drinking in the garage, I'd rather take my kids to the bike trails or whatever it may be, right? It's like, it's a silly example, but I'm just trying to get that point across so you know what your situation is. And yeah, so whatever the situation is that you find yourself being less than honest for fear of being judged or not accepted. Miracles follow when you take the time to be genuine. So you live in your truth. And that is so important, that genuine aspect. And then if you act as your genuine truth, your inner guidance, then you can't really screw it up. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person, or just it helps to really be in the present. And I think it's some of the best advice I've been able to give myself or learn over the years. Um, again, gracious, be loving and gracious, learn to be still inside, recognize there are no mistakes. What you need will always show up, and surround yourself with talented, smart, and harmonious people. All right, I'm going to leave you with that. Actually, you know what? September 11th, you guys. Oh, it's been 22 years since the tower. Oh, I'm sorry I didn't bring that up sooner. So here we go. It's always a hard day to see. Lots of memories, right? You will never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret of your success is found in your daily routine. So yeah, and part of the daily routine is talking positive to yourself and being grateful. So make that a part of your daily routine. If you find yourself going down a rabbit hole, getting negative, reset. I was so negative yesterday after work. I don't know what it was, and I had to do a little reset. I actually didn't record yesterday because of that. And when I reset it, I felt so much better. I went for a walk, and then friends came over, of course, and I felt a lot better, but super important. So here's your affirmation. I know that I will never have today again. I live each day to the fullest. And isn't that surprising for September 11th? All the folks that died, sadly, they probably did not think that would be their last day. And I'm sure their family and friends did not think that would be their last day. So this message, and even the death of my brother, that tragic loss as well, it makes you really appreciate the day to day and the people, and knowing that, yes, life is short, live it to the fullest. Don't worry about the how, and really just, be truthful to who you are. All right. Sending you lots of love, and I will see you tomorrow.